It was a beautiful day on Thursday as the Chiefs wrapped up their second full week of OTAs. And has been the case for the past couple of weeks, these guys were once again getting after it with the energy turned up all the way to 11. They were without running back Damian Williams and receiver Sammy Watkins, as both were out for personal reasons, nothing health related for them. And then Travis Kelce and Cam Irving still remain sidelined after their offseason surgeries. But while those guys were out, we have seen the return of both safety Armani Watts, who was back on the field after missing most of last season with the core muscle injury, as well as starting right guard Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who missed most of last season with a leg injury. As far as what stood out on Thursday, Patrick Mahomes had another good day, not a huge surprise, hooking up with multiple receivers during team blitz and 7-on-7 periods. He and his BFF Garrett Dieter looked in sync on a few throws inside the red zone, including this beauty right here. And Mahomes also had a nice tight window throw to tight end Blake Bell across the middle that had safety Tyrann Mathieu in coverage. Now, we didn't get shots of all of the top plays, but we did see Chad Henne and rookie Mecole Hardman have a nice hookup deep down the field for a touchdown on a corner route. And then later in practice, Breeland Speaks, the second-year defensive lineman, blew up a screen pass on what would have been a tackle for loss on a nice play. And then second-year linebacker Ray Davison had the day's only interception. Perhaps the best of the day was from Chase Litton to rookie tight end and converted college quarterback out of Princeton, John Lovett. They had a nice hookup across the middle in which Lovett had to dive with multiple defensive backs in the area. Now, I had a chance after practice to catch up with Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy to find out what he's seen from the guys over the past couple of weeks, and in particular, two of the intriguing second-year guys with big opportunities for themselves heading into training camp. What have you seen from this group? What do you like about what you've seen through 2 weeks of OTAs here?
You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of energy, and I've seen a lot of competition. These guys are flying around, and like I told them, don't be afraid to make a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake. It's not okay to make the same mistake twice. And one thing we always discuss, let's make sure that we control our effort. It requires no God-given ability to work with second effort. So these guys are flying around, they're getting the effort in, and you know what? You can see the details starting to show up each and every day.
I gotta ask, because one of the things that stood out at rookie minicamp was the new defensive coaching staff. Everybody was talking about those guys are getting after it, and there's a lot of chirping. It's just like that side of the ball is coming after it a little bit.
Oh yeah, some of these guys I've known for a long time. In fact, me and Brendan Daly coached together once upon a time in Minnesota. I was actually playing when Coach Spags was coaching in Philly. But I mean, it's a great staff. You got great people, great coaches, very energized, and you know what? They get after it on the inside of the ball. So, but it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it because the energy and the excitement that they bring, I think it's just going to, be contagious.
We talk a lot about the MVP of the league. We talk a lot about Patrick Mahomes. I want to talk about two of the second-year guys that didn't get an opportunity last year, that this was a big offseason for them, both in physical development, also just mentally understanding what they're doing. First guy I want to ask you about is Khalil McKenzie. He was already making the transition from defensive line over to offensive line. Now that he's done that for a year, what have you seen from his development?
Well, first of all, if you just take a good look at him, his body has changed. I mean, he's a good-looking kid. I mean, he spent a lot of time in the weight room this offseason. And on top of that, he's also getting better at his skill set. He understood that he was obviously coming in to learn how to play a position. Right now, he's taking the necessary steps forward to help himself to find a role on our team.
Besides McKenzie, the other player to keep an eye on is former K-State standout Byron Pringle, who Chiefs assistant head coach and special teams coordinator Dave Tobe spoke about after today's practice.
At the end of right before we started, he got hurt, but that whole game, I mean, that preseason, he was having an outstanding game, when he got hurt and leading up to that point. So, we were really high on him last year, and he's really taken it. He did a great job with his rehab, number one, and those guys getting him back because he's really looking good right now. He's took it to another level, so we're really excited the way he looks right now.
And Bieniemy spoke about Pringle too.
This kid here, I mean, he had some promise last year. And obviously with him doing the things that he's done, I mean, kid's doing good so far.
Nobody's got to tell me to keep an eye on the K-Stater, and anybody watching this probably already knows that, but at that position, just how important is this, knowing that guys like Sammy was out for personal reasons today? It gives reps to guys with the first team. I saw Pringle out there getting some reps. Just how important are those for these guys, like you said, who've been in the system, they know what they're doing, now go out and show that you can do it quickly.
Exactly, and they understand. These guys have been around for a while. When those guys are not around, hey, you know what? Make the very most of the opportunity. So Pringle has stepped up. He's getting a number of reps, and he's showing what he can do. And that's important because, first of all, it shows that he's paying attention in the classroom. Right? On top of that, he's taking instruction in the individual periods with Coach Greg Lewis and Joe Blameyer, and then it's coming out and it's showing in the team drills.
The Chiefs wrap up OTAs next week, and then will hold their mandatory minicamp for 3 days before breaking until training camp. And as always, we'll have you covered at Chiefs.com and all of our social media channels.